running for top 5 best twos players in the world, and especially one of them probably being the best. They got a pretty
Yeah,
good case.
if we look at the PRs, I'm sorry for cutting you off. If you look at the PRs for Blaze and Neeze, you see PR number 1 for Blaze and PR number 5 for Neeze. So I just thought that was really funny. Anyway,
Team Delta
moving on.
A lot of surprises though.
I mean, yeah, they did really well against. Who did we see them against? We saw them Machete and Escape. They pulled out that double Taros, and it does seem like they did switch off of it. You know, I'm actually a little surprised on that. I mean, they had the double Lance in Escape and Machete, but I mean, I don't know. I don't see why they would switch.
That reverse pivot GC D-Light into recovery attempt that Neeze tried to pull off on Delta off the side of the stage as a confirm. That was a very, very out-of-the-box option, and Neeze is taken down to that second stock, but TM is really starting to not look great starting to look a bit worse for Wear, and might be the first one on last stock gang, as everyone else is on yellow or orange, as Delta is actually taking it pretty personally to try and revoke that second stock ablaze. And I can't tell if that was a clash or a disarm. Those particle effects need to take some getting used to. I'm happy that they're there though. I'm happy that there are particle effects for a disarm. It's just sometimes it's a little bit too close to a clash.
Yeah, I understand that. But now, I mean, you said they were pretty equal damage, but TM actually, like, living much better, getting a beautiful cider, sending both blue team members off the side of the stage. Blaze getting a really good recovery. And it's just back and forth with these guys. I mean, Delta now off the side of stage, Neeze trying to find an edge guard. Blaze actually almost taking themselves out there. Luckily, Lance has an amazing recovery. A beautiful nair for Delta.
Small damage lead in favor of blue team, but if we have learned anything today, actually we've learned a lot of things today. I'm having a hard time keeping track. One of the things that we've learned today is that if a player at this caliber really needs to clutch it up, they always got it somewhere deep in those sleeves. Right now, Delta and Neeze, respectively, of both teams, going to be pretty pivotal as to how this game goes. They both desperately need to stay alive. Delta had to try and come back to the stage from the exclamation marks, but a weapon throw, running out of options. Neeze is going to lock TM in this 2v1. No other options less. Has to go for these big plays, and as he's also running out of options, Neeze is going to take this first game.
I mean, there's a lot to unpack about after that game. I mean, it was just back and forth until it wasn't. It was just countless. This happens, but now this happened. However, this happened now, but I wanted this to happen. Okay, well now that happened, but now this happened. There's so much going on for, I mean, these teams. I mean, I'm thinking I don't think it's gonna be a game 5. I genuinely don't think it's gonna be game 5. I'm thinking game 4. Just because, I mean, it's hard to get 2 game 5s for the same team, because eventually one team's gonna learn what the other one's doing. But I don't know. It's just something about these teams. I feel like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. But right now, this red team's struggling. I mean, Neeze doing a really good job with Spear. Blaze doing an amazing job with Lance. How you feeling?
I mean, red team, they are starting to do a little bit better at like the rotating 1v1s, and they're starting to do some pretty good mix-ups. They're starting to really kind of try and download blue team. All right, let me throw this out. How does this work? You know, try to figure out what ticks. But still, blue team, they're just staying together a little bit better, and I feel like red team has to rely on those rotating 1v1s a lot more, because the moment you give blue team the space to actually play the 2v2, that's kind of where things start. That's where, not the whole cookie crumbles, but you start to get some crumbles fall in your lap, and you know,
that's where the crumble cookies.
I gotta yeah, I gotta hold on to this cookie a bit more tight before it all crumbles, because I'm already starting to get crumbs.
You can't hold on to it too tight, you know.
Oh yeah.
But I mean,
no, you can't.
Speaking of holding on, Blaze, I mean, staying with this first stock, doing always such a good job. I mean, that's what Blaze is known for, stock tanking until like almost the very end. I mean, we'll see him on last stock red for like a duration of the game. A beautiful downsig there for Neeze. They finally do take out Blaze, however, a beautiful follow-up as soon as he respawns. I mean, what more could you want from a 2v2 teammate that knows how to live and how to kill?
Ooh, I want a teammate that is as good as the reflex to dodge like that, like Delta. I don't know how many people caught that off the side of the stage. I couldn't tell if that was a react or just instinct, like, okay, they're gonna ground pound. But, and also,
Ooh, okay.
oh, that almost KO'd some of the defense from
that was pretty cool, though.
Clutch, yeah.
I mean, it's just, it's such a good, they're all just so good, but finally Blaze dropping down to their last stock, and now damage is pretty equal. Neeze starting to take a little bit more damage. TM with a beautiful side sig, and now Red Team's in the 2v1. GC side sig, and that is gonna be the game. Red Team bringing it all the way back. Beautiful, beautiful game.
Delta's just stepping up. The more time that you give this monster, the more time that they have to just step it up. The later into the bracket they get, the more likely you're gonna have to clutch a game 5 or just drop the set entirely. Watching a player evolve as not just like the weeks go on, but as each day goes on is kind of insane.
Yeah, I do want to mention though, I'm kind of upset we didn't mention this earlier. TM actually made a character swap.
Yeah.
He swapped from the Olgrim to the Orion. And right now, Neeze is experiencing that for themselves. Getting almost cidered to oblivion. Red Team starting to do a little bit better here. Neeze, beautiful GC side sig follow-up. And now, Blue Team doing amazing here.
Delta is, really starting to play aggressive, and TM not too far behind. And although Blue Team, they're still able to come back from that. Their ability to survive, just like you were saying earlier. Although I don't think Blaze is it. You can even see Neeze was trying to go down for the save, but it all goes up in vain. Their ability to survive that first stock does cut short, but that's not to say that it didn't come in at all, because considering how aggressive Red Team has been, look at the game state. Blue Team is still at a slight lead, and I think it's just Blue Team's defense is kind of towering above Red Team's offense, no matter how good it may be. But you give them space for these team combos, and they turned on the blender to maximum speed. That...
Oh, we're not gonna do this again, right? We're not doing that again. Okay, we are not doing the blender jokes again. Anyway, Blaze, the beautiful double KO, ground pound onto, I believe, TM and a cider for Delta. It says, buy one, get all of them free. I mean, Blue Team's just been so solid this entire set, but Red Team just can capitalize so easily on these 2v1s. I mean, we saw last game, both were pretty high damage. Beautiful follow-up. I mean, but they were both damaged really, like, they were pretty damaged, but I mean, we saw in that 2v1, they just did so much damage and got the kill onto Blaze almost instantly.
That one little blunder moment during those second stocks where they're able to bring a pretty nasty lead against them into a bit of a closer to even game that's letting them bring it down to such a neck and neck sudden death game. It does fall apart when Neeze is able to get those pogo dares, leave TM in the 2v1. We're gonna talk about this a little bit later, but that little blender portion, that is extremely pivotal to their success in this game. But right now, Blue Team, they have their eyes on the prize. Still sudden death. TM could pull out a surprise, but I mean, you're running out of options, bud.
Yeah, I mean, they started pulling a little bit more ahead in the, later on. 700 damage for TM, and they still went down. I mean, what more can you say? TM just played so well with this Orion pick. Delta's kind of struggling now. I'm thinking we might see a character swap.
I mean, it would definitely make some sense. And it looks like, yeah, we have a... Wait. Do we or do we not? I have
We do
memory.
not.
Okay,
We
we
do
do not have a character swap. As a...
Alright, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. Because also, but that last game, the fact that red team was able to keep it as even as they were, blue team took a lead pretty early on in the game, but we're still able to close it out. Red team was just able to bring it back to even with that one little blender moment on second stocks, and it's hard to say, like, is the plan to rely on a moment like that happening again, or is it just to avoid the need for that moment altogether, and that was just kind of, a string of very fortunate circumstances that happened to line up that we're just kind of thankful for. So how they're approaching this next game, I think they're gonna...
My God.
I think the blender's staying plugged in. I think it's pretty safe to say that if they want to rely on those moments, considering how they're able to force that moment for these first stocks and still just barely hold on to these first stocks for a little bit longer, I'd say that it's pretty guaranteed if that actually is their strategy.
Well, I mean, getting team combos in 2v2 is just like, it's like getting a quesadilla with cheese, you know? It's always gonna be there. But I mean, for a really good quesadilla, you really need to know how to make some good cheese, or how to find some good cheese anyway. But a beautiful side stick from TM. This blue team is struggling here in game number 4. I actually thought it was gonna be, I thought it was gonna only go to game 4. Never did I think that, I mean, red team was gonna do this good here. But I mean, they're showing up, man.
Argument for a game 5 unless TM falls down right here, and also actually screw it, if either member falls down here, this couldn't be not looking the best. Delta chase dodging down off stage to try and have that Sarah connect, but ultimately TM falls, Delta soon to follow, as red team only has a small lead, and we have seen just how quickly these games can sway. All it takes is just some good cheese and the quesadilla is complete, and blue team might be able to bring it back, but still they have they got quite a bit to chew through before they have that happen.
But I mean, look at this damage now. Blue team was down 2 stocks to 5, and like, look at this. This is their tournament stock. Actually, this is all of their tournament stocks. Beautiful downsig by Blaze. TM now in the 1v2 after being up 5 stocks to 2. This blue team just said, nah, we're good. I think we'll take our order to go to grand finals.
Decent.
Beautiful. 700 damage from Blaze. 700 from Blaze. I mean,
the D-Sig is going to be very good when it comes to that.
I mean, that was just beautiful gameplay after beautiful game. I mean, what do you even say? It's just, oh my gosh.
And
I mean, Blaze and Neeze.